בת שמואל, אורה דבורה בת שמואל, אסתר, רבקה בת אברהם, מוניקה בת פני, אין מנחם מנדל בן אלחנן, רוח השם תנחם בגן עדן. You know, I rather heard a nice חידוש. ויוותר יעקב לבדו, ויאבק איש עמו עד עלות השחר. יעקב אבינו went and he put himself in danger. To bring what? פחים קטנים. what are פחים קטנים? What's פחים קטנים? Small, bottles, you know. Anyway, we're going to speak why he put himself in such a danger. But the pasuk tells us, ויוותר יעקב לבדו, ויאבק איש עמו. Yaakov was by himself, and then he had the fight with the famous angel of Esav. Rabotai, the Torah is not adding words just to make the story nicer. Who cares if Yaakov was by himself or not by himself? Said, straight up, the angel of Esav came to fight. Machpatli, he was by himself, he wasn't by himself. And if you're not going to tell me, I'm not going to know. Probably he was by himself. But Rabotai, this is a musar for each one of us. To teach us that every single one of us is Yaakov Avinu. And we have those moments that we are by ourselves. What that means? No one is here to help you. No one is here to, to encourage you. Sometimes you're in certain situations that you feel, but Olam, I'm by myself. A lady called me yesterday. Mamash, breaking story, breaking heart. She told me, Rabbi, I had to leave the country where I was. My husband was abusing, was a problem in the family. I had to come here, and I have bar mitzvah, my son. I have no one penny. Not talking about teaching, not talking about making a fancy party, even to buy him tefillin. And she's telling me one now, her child is by himself, no father. He feels, have a lot of pain. Rabotai, sometimes a person feels by himself. Vayvater Yaakov levado. And guess what? Do you think that at that moment everything is going to get resolved? Vayavek ish imo. But Abraham is going to put to this person even more challenges. More Yitzhak is going to come. But then, if this person is going to stand strong and is going to try to pass this wave, then at the end of the day, the same angel, the same Yetzer Hara that is going to try to push him down is going to give him the beracha, and is going to tell him, לא יקרא שמך יעקב כי אם ישראל יהיה שמך כי שרית עם אלוקים ועם אנשים ותוכל. If you were able to fight me when you were by yourself, sarita, you're going to be a minister, you're going to be up in all the levels. Rabotai, ma'aseh avot siman nabanim, whatever happened, still happened to us in every single generation. I just want to tell you a story of a man. I heard it last night. There was a Jew in Israel. There is the bursa of Yahalomim. The bursa of, precious stones and diamonds. So this man used to work there as one of the simple workers. He was doing business over there. One time, I think was before Rosh Hashanah or for Rosh Hashanah, he says to himself, what is my biggest challenge that I have in my office? Not in the office, in the place where I work. He says, the biggest challenge, Shmirat ha'einayim. I have to keep my eyes clean. Not easy, especially you're working with all type of different type of Jews. Yeah, some more religious, some less religious. It's not so easy. He says to himself, I committed myself this year to keep on my eyes the most possible. One day, he got some diamonds from one company, and he was supposed to sell it to another company. He had it in his desk for a few seconds. He went 1 second to take something. When he came back, no bag. No bag, no diamonds. He $60,000 was inside there. 60. He says to himself, the natural thing is start looking all around. Start looking for the bag, for the diamonds. And then those seconds, a mahashava came up to his mind. He says, if I'm going to start looking, looking is L'Shem Shamayim, but L'Shem Shamayim, you also look things that are not proper. Doesn't matter what was the issue over there, why it was so complicated to keep his eyes clean, but it was very complicated. And he knew that if he's going to start searching, he's going to have a lot of Yetzer Hara. He sat down, he closed up his eyes and he says, Borei Olam, I commit myself and I'm doing it. What's going to be with the 60,000? I have no clue. I'm not going to look around knowing that I'm going to be falling down in things that are not tzeniut. He says that that day passed. The loss is a big loss, $60,000, especially for a guy that is just starting to work or whatever. He says one of the days was back then when the business was very good with India. One of the days, he says, he had to travel to India and to buy some merchandise. He got to India, and one of the sellers tells him, listen, I have a bunch of stones that are not polished. I'm telling you that worth good money. You give me $120,000 and you take the whole thing. This Jew said, you know what? Looks good, sounds good. I'm going to try to get the money, and he committed himself. He just bought it. He showed it to one of his friends, and the friend told him, Yet tipesh. You have no clue where you put yourself. This doesn't worth even half of the amount. What are you doing? You lost more money. He says to himself, Borei Olam. Not only they already stole from me 60,000, now I'm losing 120,000. He says, Borei Olam, I'm not regretting about the mitzvah that I did. I keep my eyes clean, I'm not regretting. I don't understand your ways, I trust in you. You know what happened? He said, you know what? I have already the merchandise with me. I'm going to polish it anyways. What I can do. He polished it, and the guy that was polishing it, he told him, that's an unbelievable merchandise that we got. What do you mean? He explained to him that this merchandise was looking terrible from outside. Once it got polished, worth hundreds of thousands. He was able to sell around $3 million from that amount of merchandise that he bought. He says, I keep my eyes clean, and Borei Olam pay me with eyes clean. What that means, in the external view, wasn't worth anything. But in your internal, you were able to work in your internal, Yetzer Hara. I'm going to work also in the internal of the merchandise that you're going to buy. Rabotai, Vayivater Yaakov levado means when a person is by himself, he have a lot of Yetzer Hara. And on those moments, if you're going to be able to control yourself, then kisarita im Elokim v'manashim v'tuchan. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just want to finish up one more idea. Somebody sent it to me, and I think it's a must. I must share it with you. Listen to this. We're going to be reading about Yosef HaTzadik, correct? Yosef, at what age was sent? He was sold to the age of 17. Orphan? No mother. Right? His dad,
Yosef.
His dad loved him, but you know what? The brothers were able to sell him out. Yosef found himself in Mitzrayim, young boy, good-looking boy, right? Orphan. His parents, his father doesn't care about him. His family doesn't care about him. He's by himself. And then he have the nisayon of the wife of Potiphar. People think that the wife of Potiphar was an old lady.
No.
Wife of Potiphar was one of the most beautiful ladies, say Chazal. And the Yetzer Hara, what Yosef had, no one was able to stand in front of that Yetzer Hara. There is a famous midrash. Yosef was so good looking, handsome, that when the wife of Potiphar was telling her friends, I have this servant and he's so handsome and everything, she said, come on, you're making stories up. What can be so beautiful about an Israeli Ivri? He says, you know what, Yalla, come to my house. We're going to make a salad. You know what? Let's make some food. And I'm going to tell him just to pass by. Just look at him. Says the Midrash, Yosef passed by, and then the ladies that they were cutting, whatever they were cutting, they didn't even realize. They were so amazed about the beauty of Yosef, they were cutting their own fingers. They didn't feel it. Just to understand how handsome was Yosef HaTzadik. Rabotai, the simple question is, how is that possible? A young fellow in his teenager age, good-looking boy, being sent out, is not beloved anymore in his family, he's by himself in Mitzrayim, having Yetzer Hara, how it's possible that Yosef HaTzadik keep himself clean, not to make any sin? What's the magic over here? Unbelievable. Listen to this. You know what's the secret? It says like this. When the brothers came back with the garment of Yosef and the blood, they told him, Hakana, go, can you recognize this garment to who it belongs? And Yaakov Avinu recognized it. Va'ikra Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu rips his garments and he cried and tells us the Torah, Vaima'en le'itnachaim. What's Vaima'en le'itnachaim? He couldn't get, how you call it? Comfort.
No, he refused.
He refused. He didn't want it to. And the of Yaakov Avinu were coming. They were telling him, Dad, look at all the family that he have. He have children, grandchildren, all of them Talmidei Chachamim. The girls are Tzadikot, Hasidot. All of them Yirei Shamayim. So fine, one child. You know how many families, unfortunately, but how many families today, they have 10 kids, 11 kids, all of them rabbis, and one kid, So fine, you live with it. So they told him, Yaakov, that's it, forget about it. Halas, he passed away. Vaima'en le'itnachem. Yaakov Avinu wasn't ready to do it, to accept it. Say Chachamim, you understand what that means? Yaakov Avinu, even though he had one son, that his brothers sell him, and he is far away, Yaakov Avinu knew that Yosef wasn't dead. And all the time he was worried. Maybe my son, he can fall chas v'shalom in Avera. He can go off the derech. I'm going to pray for him. I care about him. I love him. Say Chachamim, when you love your son, kamayim panim lapanim kach lev adam la'adam. When a person loves his son and he shows him the love, he cares about his feelings. All the time he's pending what's going to be with him. Automatically the son also is going to feel this connection. Unbelievable. How Chachamim are telling us that when Yosef HaTzadik had the challenge with the wife of Potiphar, what happened at that moment? The Yukno Shel Aviv. He saw an image of his father. What is this image of his father? Is something mystic? The answer is no. He felt how much his father cares about him, loves him. How much his father is ready to give from himself, and he knows that his father didn't sell him out. Was the brothers, it's not his father. He said, how I can do such action and give a pain to my dad. Rabotai, this message applies to all of us in educating our kids and our grandkids. Education, it's one thing. Kamayim panim la panim. Whatever you show, you get back. You show love, you're going to get back love. You show outside, yeah, I love my son, but when you're with him, how you act. All the time you rebuke him. All the time you yell at him. All the time you're telling him not to do this and not to do that. What does the kid feel? The kid feels all the time that my dad doesn't love me. And here are coming all the problems. When there is Chas v'Shalom, this type of relationship, then the kid can come out. But if there is Chamaim Panim La Panim, when I'm showing to my son the love, automatically my son is going to return the love as well. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen.